Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Today we've got 3 sovereign citizens to talk about, and trust me, each one brings their own unique flavor of nonsense to the table. 2 of them are returning champions, sovereign citizens I've covered before. Now back with updates that somehow prove they've learned absolutely nothing. And the third. Well, the third manages to get laughed out of court so thoroughly that even I felt a little secondhand embarrassment. Just a little. But before we begin, I want to thank today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. Now, I'm sure most of you already know what a VPN does, but in case you're new here, let me break it down. A VPN masks your real IP address and location, which means you can browse the internet more privately and securely while appearing to be somewhere completely different. And this isn't just a neat little trick. This opens up features, discounts, and content that you normally wouldn't even know existed. For example, when I'm traveling, I use Surfshark to stay up to date on my local news and sports. Without Surfshark, this is what happens when you try accessing YouTube TV outside of the US. You get that lovely "not available in your region" message. But when I flip on Surfshark and set my location to my hometown, boom, YouTube TV works exactly like I never left. The same goes for tons of other streaming services with geolocked movies and shows that aren't available in one country but magically appear when you switch to another. And it's not just entertainment. Surfshark lets me change my virtual location to make sure I'm getting the best possible prices on hotels and flights when I travel. If you've never tried location hopping for deals, you'd be shocked at how much money you can save just by appearing to book from a different country. Plus, Surfshark has no user logs, 24/7 customer service. And my favorite perk, you can use it on unlimited devices with a single account. PC, laptop, tablet, phone. You name it, Surfshark covers it. One subscription protects everything. So take back control of your internet privacy and give Surfshark VPN a try. You'll get 4 extra months for free and a 30-day money-back guarantee when you use my link in the pinned comment and the description below. Huge thanks again to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Clip 1.
00390201, the people of the state of Michigan versus Tanea Nicole Tubbs. This matter is scheduled today for a pre-trial. Appearances for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Elena Rozak on behalf of the people, P78815.
Good morning, Judge Deanne Patillo, P82378 on behalf of Ms. Tanea Tubbs.
Ms. Tubbs, if you can state your name for the record, please.
Grand Rising. I asked the Holy Spirit to come in here and touch this courtroom today, and I welcome the Holy Spirit. I am Tanea Nicole Tubbs, the beneficiary.
Okay. And Ms. Patilla is being appointed as your standby counsel, Ms. Tubbs, all right?
No, sir, I did not ask for that. But if I'm being forced, then I'm being forced in direct coercion.
All right. Well, I'm not forcing you, but she's going to help in case you need anything. You don't ever have to use her, but if you want any questions on anything, she's there to help you, okay? You're gonna represent yourself. But if you have any questions, you can ask her, all right?
I hear you, sir.
All right. Do we have a jury trial date on this?
March 17th.
All right. We'll set this is set for jury trial on March 17th at 9 a.m. Ms. Tubbs, did you want to discuss settlement with the prosecutor, or do you just want to go ahead to jury trial?
I wanted to ask the prosecutor a few things, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Your Honor, one of the things I think that we put on the record last week when we were trying to establish whether Ms. Tubbs was going to represent herself, if we were going to relieve the prior defense counsel of his obligations and then also get standby counsel. And I think that today was more of an update just to make sure everything was in order. But knowing that the trial
And I have ruled that she can represent herself, haven't I?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And that's why the other counsel was relieved and
Right, okay.
Ms. Patillo was put on as standby.
All right.
With that, I think that we had mentioned the possibility of having Ms. Tubbs be brought over here so that we can have discussions. Ms. Patillo is standby. I feel comfortable speaking to Ms. Tubbs as long as there's somebody else there. Even if they're not fully representing her, at least there's a third person. And I wouldn't mind speaking to her in person, but I think it's going to be easier if she's here, and I don't necessarily want her to say something on Zoom in open court that might affect her case when she's representing herself.
All right. We can do this one of two ways. Either can put all of you in a breakout room and let the three of you discuss things, or we can bring her here.
I would ask Ms. Tubbs what she would like to do.
Ms. Tubbs, what do you want to do? Do you want to go into a breakout room with the standby counsel and your and the prosecutor, or would you like to come here physically to talk with them?
I can do standby counsel. I mean, I can do not standby counsel, but I can talk to them in the break room since she's afraid of what I have to say so the public would not hear.
If the court makes something you say private, it's not because they're trying to suppress the hidden truth about licenses, registration, maritime law, or whatever other fictional universe sovereign citizens think courtrooms operate in. No, when the court shuts off the microphone, it's because they're trying to gatekeep that level of comedy from the public. Some things are just too priceless to release into the wild without a warning label. But seriously, there's nothing conspiratorial about it. Plea negotiations are kept private for a very normal, very boring legal reason. They're confidential discussions between the defense and the prosecution. That's the standard practice everywhere. It protects both parties, it prevents misunderstandings, and it keeps half-baked out of context. Statements from being blasted all over social media by people who barely made it through the courthouse metal detector. So when the judge says, "We'll talk about that off the record," it's not because you cracked the mythical code that invalidates traffic laws. It's because the legal system, like sovereign citizens, really follows established procedures. That's why.
If I could interject, I apologize, Your Honor. Would I be able to, well, if Ms. Tubbs allows, would I be able to speak to her before she speaks to the
I don't allow.
That's an excellent idea. Ms. Tubbs, would you be willing to speak privately with Ms. Patillo?
No, sir.
All right, Ms. Patillo, I don't think I can order her to do that. So, Ms. Tubbs, as I told you before, we got taught the first day of law school, he or she who represents themselves as a fool for a client. I would strongly recommend that you talk to Ms. Patillo, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. What would you like to do with that?
With all due respect, sir, I am not working alone. I work with the Holy Spirit, so only a fool would think that the Holy Spirit.
Yeah. Only a fool would think the Holy Spirit is about to float down from the rafters and start cross-examining witnesses on their behalf. These people act like the courtroom is about to turn into a divine episode of Law and Order, Celestial Victims Unit. It never happens. I've covered one of these folks before. Same script, same delusion. He insisted Jesus Christ himself was going to be his attorney of record. He kept saying it like the judge was supposed to pencil Messiah ESQ onto the docket. And shocker, no holy apparition appeared, no supernatural legal brief was filed. And he ended up getting sentenced to 40 years to life. Turns out relying on divine intervention is not a recognized offense in any jurisdiction. So before you start invoking some mythical pro bono litigator from the sky, maybe consider accepting the very real lawyer the state is offering you for free because, unlike your imaginary counsel, that lawyer will actually show up.
I'm not being smart with you either. I'm telling you what they told us in law school, all right?
That's understandable.
All right, that's fine, Ms. Tubbs. So she apparently will you be willing to have Ms. Patella in the room with you and the prosecutor?
Sir, I do not need her. Thank you. I'm not willing to-
All right.
I want somebody.
Yeah.
Regardless
So the
of who it
prosecutor
is.
says she does not feel comfortable talking directly with you without somebody else in the room. So
you're
You tell
forcing me. You're forcing
I'm
me
not
to have.
forcing you to do anything. You know, you don't have to talk to me. We can just go ahead and have a jury trial. That's fine with me. So what the prosecutor is saying is if she wants to talk alone with you, that there has to be somebody else in the courtroom or in the room. So you tell me.
She can have her in the courtroom, but not on my behalf. It can be on her behalf since she's fearing what I have to say alone. I'm not understanding why.
Put the three of you in a breakout room to discuss things.
Okay, thank you.
Do you agree to that, Ms. Tubb?
I agree to speak with her with the third party on her side.
All right. And counsel, how long do you think we should put you in the breakout room for?
10 minutes to be safe.
10 minutes, and then you can have more time if you need it, okay?
Okay, thank you.
I'll take 5 minutes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put you in 10. You can always stop early, okay?
Thank you.
A few moments later.
All right, let's call Ms. Tubb's case, please.
Calling case 2400390201. The people of the state of Michigan versus Tanea Nicole Tubbs. This matter is scheduled today for a pretrial. Appearances for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Elena Rozak on behalf of the people, P78815.
And good morning, Judge Deanne Patillo, P82378, standing counsel for Ms. Tanea Tubbs.
All right, Ms. Tubbs, if you can unmute and state your name for the record, please.
For the record, I am Tanea Nicole Tubbs, the beneficiary of the account.
All right, Ms. Tubbs, you have a constitutional right to be physically present for this hearing. Do you agree to waive that right for today and hold this hearing by Zoom?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Where are we at on Ms. Tubbs' case, Madam Prosecutor?
Your Honor, I did get some information from Ms. Tubbs, and I did look up I know that the defendant is in Calhoun County Jail right now, and that she has a sentencing date of March 24th, 2025. When is our trial date? The 17th?
March 17th.
I'm guessing that Calhoun County would let her come here pending their sentence, since we have a trial date. I don't know how that all works because their case is a 2022 case, so it's definitely older. But either way, that's a problem for somebody else, I suppose. I think that Miss Tubbs needs to be brought over here, and maybe we should have a pre-trial before the trial once Miss Tubbs is here, where we're all in person. And Miss Tubbs can bring whatever documentation that she wishes to provide at that point. That way we all have it, and we're all on the same page, because some of the things that she's referring to, I do not have. And I would say that we're likely going to have to proceed to trial.
All right. When are you proposing that we have this, bring her over beforehand? Obviously, the closer to the date for the court's purposes, the better, because we don't have to retain her as long from Calhoun. But if you think it would help to bring her earlier, we can do that too.
I think that approximately 2 weeks before, so that puts us in the March 3rd area. Sometime at the end of the week before or early the week of March 3rd.
I'm available the 6th, if that works for the court, prosecutor and Ms. Tubbs.
All right, why don't we schedule this to have her brought over here for March the 6th, and we'll have the hearing at 11:30. Is that time okay for you, Attorney Patella?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we'll set this for March 6th at 11:30. Hey, May, can you send a writ to have her brought from Calhoun County here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes, go right ahead, man, Ms. Tubbs.
I am looking forward to being out of here before then, and it is my duty to come there on my own as a freeborn sovereign. To this, I do not need to be detained or retained. I am not an entity or subject to any entity. And I gave this paperwork to the 36th district, and I'm not going to be able to get this paperwork if I don't be able to walk and go get it, go home and print it out myself, because I have none but 8 children. I am by myself. I don't have support. I just have myself and my 8 children, which my oldest just went to prison, so he's not able to help me any longer.
Like mother, like son. And seriously, what are you doing not following the law when you've got 8? I mean 7 kids depending on you for basics like food and a roof over their heads. It's wild. I can almost guarantee she's relying on the state for benefits while simultaneously pretending the state is some oppressive force that personally dragged her into this situation. It's the classic sovereign citizen paradox. Scream about tyranny while cashing the checks that keep the lights on.
So there is no holds on me, correct?
Well, you're going to be in the jail here, Wayne County Jail.
What I'm telling you is that I'm going to be released from here either today, tomorrow, and I do not need any holds to come to another jail. I am a freeborn sovereign. I do not need to be detained or retained. I am not subject to any entity, or am I an entity? I am a living being.
I don't know about you, but having 8 kids that I'm not taking care of because I'm currently sitting in a jail cell isn't exactly what I'd call living. At least not in any sense I personally recognize. That's not a lifestyle, that's a cautionary tale wrapped in poor decisions and sealed with a sovereign citizen stamp. Anyway, that wraps up the first hearing. Now we move on to the second one, and oh boy, this next guy is a treat. We're heading into Judge Chisholm's courtroom home turf for some of the best judicial deadpan in the country, where a sovereign citizen walks in puffed up with confidence, armed with Google University legal theories, and manages to get himself laughed straight out of the room by the entire court staff. And honestly, he earns every
chance to speak with Attorney Gagnick before the arraignment. And you'll see on your screen an invitation to join a breakout room. And we're going to go to breakout room 2. So when you see the invitation to join, please join.
Magistrate, Mr. Myrick declined counsel.
Okay.
I'll just have him acknowledge on the record, and then I'll let you take it from there.
We've got Mr. Myrick coming back. We'll close the room.
I get the impression that he may be filing a special appearance on behalf of a sovereign citizen.
Okay, we've got Mr. Myrick back. This is 25-00183. People of the City of Berkeley versus Kamash Daku Myrick.
Magistrate, I'm just going to acknowledge my presence for the record. Patrick Gagnick. I'm here as appointed counsel on behalf of the arraignment docket this morning. I did speak to Mr. Myrick in private. I did explain to him he does have the right to counsel. I explained to him, obviously, that right. He's indicated to me unequivocally that he does not want counsel. Mr. Myrick, is that a fair statement?
That is a fair statement.
So with that said, I'm here and present, but with that, I believe Mr. Myrick will address the court on his own behalf.
Mr. Myrick, you have the right to decline counsel. You also have the right to change your mind. If you do, just notify the court.
Yes, sir.
You've been charged in this citation that was issued on the 22nd day of January at about 5:58 in the morning with driving in the City of Berkeley on Henley near Franklin Street while your license to do so was suspended. Driving on a suspended license is a crime for which you could be incarcerated up to 93 days and or fined $500. You have a right to a trial. Trial can be before a judge or a jury. You can act as your own attorney or you can be represented by counsel. If you cannot afford to retain your own attorney, an attorney can be appointed for you. You'd have the right to confront and cross-examine the witnesses against you. You'd have the right to testify yourself or not to testify. In the event that you choose not to testify, your silence cannot be used against you. You have the right to be presumed innocent until you're proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The court's going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf.
I'll give it to this sovereign citizen. Credit where it's due. He's the first one I've ever seen make a literal special appearance. Not the pretend legal kind they love to shout about. No. This man is specially appearing perpendicular to the pull of gravity, defying both the court and basic physics at the same time. Honestly, if sovereign citizens put half as much effort into understanding the law as they do into turning a courtroom into a slapstick performance piece, they might accidentally accomplish something. But nope, here we are, watching a grown adult try to reinvent geometry instead of just standing up like a normal human being.
On the streets of the city of Berkeley, while you're not licensed, you're suspended. That's the allegation.
Well, I totally understand, and I would love to plead, Your Honor. But before I have some questions on the record before moving forward and concerning the subject matter of the jurisdiction and the nature and cause of the action that's brought against me.
The nature of the cause brought against you is a criminal charge.
Okay.
Alleging that you were operating a motor vehicle on the streets of the city of Berkeley while your driver's license was suspended by the Michigan Secretary of State. That is the nature of the charges brought against you.
Thank you, Your Honor. For the record, are you saying that these are criminal charges?
Yeah.
Okay, Your Honor. Further, that brings a little bit more confusion for me because under the Constitution, there are two criminal jurisdictions. One is under the common law, and the other one is under admiralty, and that's a military tribunal venue. And under Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, which one of these criminal jurisdictions?
Well, neither, because Article 1, Section 8. Clause 17 doesn't say a single word about common law or maritime jurisdiction, no matter how hard sovereign citizens squint at it. It deals with federal authority over specific federal enclaves, nothing to do with your fantasy courtroom rules or whatever YouTube law professor you listened to last night. And to actually answer your question, you're being charged under Michigan state statutes. The state of Michigan exercises its judicial power through its own constitution, its enacted laws, and yes, through the authority reserved to the states under several constitutional amendments, most notably the 10th Amendment. So while you're busy trying to drag the court into some imaginary admiralty boat trial, the law you're actually facing is the very real, very land-based Criminal Code of Michigan. The court isn't confused about jurisdiction.
And its implications is grossly distorted. You're not dealing with reality.
Objection, Your Honor.
You can object all day long, but the bottom line is that what you are alleged with doing is a crime, and you are facing criminal prosecution here with a potential jail sentence of 93 days. Now, this isn't complicated. If you want to come up with words that don't make sense, keep talking. But the bottom line is that there's no correlation with what's going on here and admiralty law whatsoever. And the common law is a civil concept. We have statutes in the state of Michigan, as do all 50 of the states. The federal courts have statutes, and common law is a civil thing. There's no common law crimes.
Exactly. So you've ruled out the common law, Your Honor. So the other criminal jurisdiction that I can be brought in charges under is under admiralty, and that is a military tribunal.
There is no basis in law or fact for the conclusion that you stated, sir.
Your Honor, you
need
said
a
that
lawyer.
I'm under a criminal. This is a criminal charge, correct?
Yeah.
So which of the two criminal jurisdictions?
You haven't heard
are
what
you
I've said,
thinking
sir. This is not a matter of having the two choices that you have spoken to.
of? Wow.
You are misreading the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the state of Michigan, and the statutes that are brought against you here. There's nothing to do with admiralty. You weren't in a boat.
Well, Your Honor, you two have a sworn oath of office, correct?
I am sworn to uphold the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the state of Michigan, and the statutes related thereto. And that means that I'm not going to.
So you do have a Sixth Amendment obligation to inform me of what jurisdiction.
And I think I have done
bringing
that. I have told you that the people of the city of Berkeley have brought charges against you.
Well, Your Honor, the people is not a person. If I'm being brought up under criminal charges, there needs to be a corpus delicti, which there isn't.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
So I'm asking you.
Do you know any other legal words? Why don't you just mix and match them here?
Well, this
Maybe
is,
you could get a Department of Labor form and read a couple lines of that into this record too. Or maybe you'd like to deal with the probate code. But the reality, sir, is that you've been charged with a city ordinance violation. It's clear what the ordinance says. It's clear what you've been charged with. You have a right to be presumed innocent, and you have a right to a trial. We're going to set this for a pre-trial before the trial. You'll be notified by mail. Do you still live on Mendota?
I do, but I have.
What is your phone number?
I'm not issued a plea, Your Honor.
I have entered a plea of not guilty on your behalf.
I object.
What is your phone number,
You cannot
sir?
enter a plea. I do not. I have not
Oh, yeah,
entered
I
a
can.
plea.
I just did.
Your Honor.
What is your phone number?
There is no plea that you can enter in because I didn't voluntarily enter in the plea, Your Honor. I'm asking you, Your Honor.
You want me to enter a plea of guilty?
Jurisdiction under the two jurisdictions that I'm
There's
being
not
charged
two
under.
jurisdictions. I
There's
don't know
only
how
two
you've been misled
jurisdictions that
to
I can be
believe
charged
that
under
there are.
under the Constitution,
No, that's
Your Honor.
Mr. Myrick. That's what your conclusion that there's only two jurisdictions here is absolutely without merit.
Your Honor,
fact
you said
or
that this
law.
is a criminal charge. I'm asking you, Your Honor.
I'm asking you what your phone number is. Let's get down to basics here. You're making this very hard on yourself.
Your Honor, I have
What's your
the
phone
right
number?
to assert my right, Your Honor. And I
What
am
is your
asking
phone
you,
number?
Your Honor?
What is your
What-
phone number?
My phone number, Your Honor, is
Yes, I'd like to know it.
Your Honor. We haven't even established what jurisdiction we're in.
We have, I have established that. I told you it's the people of the city of Berkeley that brought the charges against you.
Your
You've
Honor,
said that three times now.
You stated on the record that these were criminal charges, Your Honor. I need to have
Correct.
an understanding. By the Constitution, Your Honor, there are only two
Where
criminal
does the
charges. that I can be
Constitution say
brought
you
under.
have to have an understanding?
Say again, Your Honor.
Where does the Constitution say you have to have an understanding?
By the Sixth Amendment, Your Honor. The
Sixth Amendment says you have to
the right
understand. The Sixth Amendment can't make you understand if you're being unreasonable.
But, Your Honor, I have the right to understand what jurisdiction that I'm being brought under, and you have an obligation to inform me of that jurisdiction, Your Honor.
Which I have done about 17
by the
times.
Constitution, under Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17, Your Honor.
Mr. Myrick, your bond is $1,000 cash or surety. It must be paid within 48 hours or there'll be a warrant issued for your arrest.
Your Honor.
That's done. We're through. Good luck.
Your Honor.
Get your own lawyer.
Your Honor, you have not given me a jurisdiction, Your Honor.
I've given you a jurisdiction 4 times. I'm not going to waste any
Your
more
Honor.
time.
Right, so that wraps up that hearing. At this point, he's got 2 options. Either come up with a bond and stay out of jail, or ignore it and enjoy the inevitable warrant that's going to land him right back behind bars. There's no third option, no magic words, and no, I do not. Consent that's going to save him from reality. And now we move on to our final segment 10 update on a soft-hearted but hard-headed Karen who decided to unleash her nonsense in front of a judge who does not play around. You might remember she was arrested right there in the courtroom after trying to argue her way into a sovereign citizen flavored meltdown. Well, today we've got an update, and for that we can thank Lone Wolf Uzel, who tracked down her Facebook page and dug up the latest developments. I'll link his channel in the description. And I highly recommend heading over there and hitting that subscribe button he puts in.
There was a disconnection or something?
No, I disconnected you. If you want to continue, come to the courthouse, sir.
Your Honor?
Come to the courthouse if you want to continue the conversation.
I would like to move for dismissal.
I would like, it's not going to be, no.
I would like to move.
You're gone.
She's a beauty for chocolate. Oh my God.
Okay? Karen, you go right ahead and keep believing that when the court orders you to appear in person, you can magically satisfy that requirement by mailing in a piece of saliva-stained construction paper covered in crayon
or a bench warrant to deal with a bench warrant that was put out for me, allegedly because I didn't make an appearance in court, but I did turn my paperwork in for that. You're allowed to turn in paperwork. You don't have to physically go to court. Paperwork is the same thing as making...
Weren't you just arrested in court? I mean, let's not rewrite history here. That was entirely your fault and entirely your problem. You didn't get snatched up by surprise ninjas. You got hauled off because you marched into a courtroom, acted like the rules didn't apply to you, and then doubled down on the stupidity. Actions have consequences, and in your case, the consequences showed up wearing badges and escorted you to the back in matching bracelets.
Struck the recusal of the judge from the record, and on top of that, they sent me a letter and they stated that I wasn't who I said I was, that I am who they say I am, which when I asked questions about that, the judge yelled at me and told me he didn't have to answer any of my questions. And then when I asked for the bill of particulars and the indemnity bond, I was arrested and taken into custody and held against my will. And so that's a false arrest. But not only was that a false arrest because it's all based on fraud in the first place, but secondly, they didn't read me my rights. I wasn't read my rights by the judge in the court, and I also wasn't read my rights when I was arrested. Also, they did not tell me what my charges were. So there's that. I can't wait to get the paperwork where they tell me what they're charging me with. So this is all because of the right to travel. Okay? It's all based on the right to travel freely, unencumbered, and unfettered according to the Constitution. Now, I'm going to pull up some stuff for you because people need to know what the truth is, and they're not going to really know unless I actually physically show them, because you guys, you're not going to do the research, right? You don't really care. You're just going to tell me I'm crazy and nothing.
Well, when you spend as much time behind bars as sovereign citizens do, you tend to form a very intimate relationship with the law one long, lonely night at a time in your jailhouse bunk bed. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Each and every one of these cases will almost certainly have a follow-up, and as soon as they do, I'll bring it straight to you. So if you liked the video, hit that like button. If you didn't like it, hit the dislike button. Don't forget to leave a comment below, and make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you never miss any of my content.
If you want to. There's benchmark cases that all deal with all of this stuff, but we'll start with Ohio Revised Code. I was threatened with retaliation for threatened and retaliated against. They were trying to coerce me into basically doing business with the state of Ohio, which I don't have anything to do with. I'm not a state of Ohio resident, okay? Under section 2905, hold on.